Hi, and welcome to Charlestown and Beyond. I'm Kathy Giordano, your host for this evening. And before we get started, I want to apologize to you. We had scheduled for tonight's show Suffolk County Sheriff Steve Tompkins, but he was unable to make it because of scheduling problems. We'll have him on at a later date, that's for sure. And we adopted Harvest on the Vine, I've told you that before, and they are coming on to Thanksgiving. So they asked me if I would please ask you for financial donations. Usually I ask you to bring a pound of coffee, a thing of soup, but they buy everything in bulk, as you can well imagine, because they service over 700 Charlestown families. So they could really use your financial help. And whatever you can give, small, large, will be very gratefully received. And you can send your donation to Harvest on Vine, 49 Vine Street, Charlestown, 02129. And I know Tom McDonald and all the volunteers will really appreciate. Thank you so much. Well, we're here for our first live show of Charlestown Beyond. The last two episodes were taped because of those guest schedules, the first being Mia Marty Walsh and the second being Mary Lee Tretanero with our Halloween special. I hope you enjoyed those two shows, and I know you're going to enjoy tonight's show. We're a live call-in show, and I really hope you'll take advantage of that tonight and call in when you find out who's here with me. The phone number is 617-708-3290. Let me go right in and introduce my special guest tonight, Steve Coyne. Thank you for getting here, Steve.
Thank you.
And I know it was an awful long trip for you. You came all the way from Beverly, and it took you over 2 hours.
It did.
I so appreciate it. And you don't look any worse the wear. You're just cool.
Okay.
Okay. Steve is an alumnus of the Bunker Hill Billies. Remember them? And did you pick up on the fact that our opening song is the theme song for the Bunker Hill Billies? That's Charlestown, all Charlestown. And let me just turn it over to you, Steve. You are the historian, you're an alumnus, and let's just start talking about it, okay?
Well, the focus should be the Bunker Hill Billies, the people that don't know, from Charlestown. Anybody over the age of probably 30 knows who the Bunker Hill Billies are. The group began as the brainchild of a wonderful gentleman by the name of Bob Munstead. Bob came to the United States from Switzerland at the age of 13, I believe. And Bob was a multi-entertainer. When he was in Switzerland, he learned how to do marionette puppets. He learned how to do ventriloquism. He learned how to play the accordion. He learned how to perform. So when he came to the United States, his parents actually emigrated before him, and he stayed behind with the grandparents, and eventually he came to the United States. So his urge to keep going and doing entertaining brought him actually to short films. And I'll throw the name Irene Ryan at you. Do you know who that is?
I vaguely remember that name.
She was Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies.
That's right.
Bob was in short Western films. I think they were silent films even back in the early days. But something drove him to Charlestown. I'm not sure what, but he had this idea of a performing group, and he approached the Boys Club, and in 1941, in early January, he started the Bunker Hill Billies at the Boys Clubs of Boston. Now that was in January 1941. And if you know your history, in December 1941, Pearl Harbor happened. And Bob, just like anybody else during the time, joined the, I believe it was not the Air Force, but the Army Air Corps. And he went overseas in the Pacific. Now, while he was in the Pacific, yes, he was in New Guinea and a lot of the Corregidor, I don't know, there was a lot of places where he ended up. But one of the things that he did was he developed a relationship with Bob Hope at the USO tours. So there's many pictures of Bob Munstead with his ventriloquism dummy called Alex, actually in uniform and performing for troops.
Wow. We have a phone call.
We do.
All right. Hello, caller.
This is your former mayor.
It is.
Yep.
Oh.
Is that Ray Flynn?
Were you no, it's not Ray Flynn. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure he means mayor of the Boys Club. Am I right?
Bobby Donahue.
Bobby Donahue, the mayor of Charlestown. How are you, Bobby?
Listen, there's a picture I got on here. And that's your brother on the floor, correct?
That's right, with the banjo.
And right behind him is Bobby Cuneo, correct?
Oh, I don't know. I was so much younger than my brother, you know? I don't know.
I was wondering if you had the picture there. He might be able to remember them.
Yeah, the picture will become, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right behind us. Here we go. Yep.
This particular group, I think, was before my time. It was, I would say, late 50s, early 60s, roughly. And you can't see color, but
Yeah.
on purpose, I wore this obnoxious shirt.
You did.
This would be the Bunker Hill Billy color shirt with the white tie, with the black hat.
That's right. I know, that was Buddy Two-Gun Wheeling down there in the bottom row on the left. And
And I swear right behind him, it looks like Bobby Cuneo. My eyes are correct.
oh, and that's
Maybe someone else knows who they are. They can call in, but
I
I've been sitting
hope
there
so. And that's
trying to figure out who they are.
the middle row, if you would, on the far right is Johnny Porter. Okay?
You know, I think I'm looking way up on the right-hand corner.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the wrong thing, but he looks like one of the Garsos. If he ain't, the other kid on the other end.
It could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Oh, that's great.
Okay, I just want to call and wish you luck, hon. I never called before, so I'm wishing you luck now.
I'm glad you did, Tommy, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. One of the first mayors of Charlestown. So we
Well, the
were-
reason I said Ray Flynn was Ray Flynn is
He's
an
an
honorary
honorary
Bunker Hill
member.
Billy.
I saw that in what you sent me. Oh, so okay, Bob's in the war.
He's in the war. He comes back. He goes back to the Boys Club and starts it right back up again. And the kids flock to it, you know. And over the years, from roughly 45, 46, I think, all the way to the late 70s, Bob ran that band with probably 100 kids trying out per year.
Wow.
And his tryout was very simple. If you remember looking at the picture, there was a tub drum,
Yep.
and that was your percussion. So part of your percussion. So if you passed the test for him, he'd play a simple song, and if you could do a beat, you know, like a chopsticks or a waltz beat, then he knew you had some rhythm in you. If you flunked that, then you had to be able to sing.
Oh.
So you had to audition, just sing a simple song like Jingle Bells. And if you could not get by that, then there wasn't much he could do with you.
But he taught all these young boys how to play these instruments.
He was there at the Boys Club in the afternoons and on weekends sometimes, and we had regular meetings once you started to get rolling into the group. That was the other thing. It was a commitment. It wasn't like, here you go, you're going to jump up on a stage.
Yeah.
You had to learn songs. He would pick out if you had the talent to play a banjo. He would pick out if you had the talent to be the percussionist, whether it be on that wonderful racket squad we called that had washboard. And he did a wonderful job. And you know, when you think of how many lives he touched in Charlestown, it has to be at least 1,000 boys that ran through the program.
Absolutely.
Over the years.
Absolutely. What else did he do at the club? Anything else, or did he devote his time to this?
Well, if you do remember Pleasure Island,
Yes.
okay, in the summertime, Bob was one of their chief entertainers.
Oh.
He would go up there as a magician, as the marionette, as the ventriloquist. So it was a wonderful experience to just know him. Boys were in awe of him,
Oh, I bet.
and we still are.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
He's, God rest his soul. He died in 1999. No, was it 99? No, maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was. January 1999.
Wow.
And a few of us did attend the service, and we sang one of his songs at the service. So
That had to be wonderful.
it was. I mean, growing up in Charlestown, the Boys Club was,
We have another phone call.
okay.
Hello, caller.
Hi, this is Alfalfa.
Oh, Mr. Kelly.
I know Steve's not going to have enough time to. You can never have enough time to really do justice to
No.
what Bob did. But Steve was also picked up Bob's baton and ran with it and formed the first co-ed bunk. They weren't called the Bunker Hill Billies, but he did exactly what Bob did for a number of years as well. And I just wanted to say, here Steve's sitting there, and we were in the Hillbillies nearly 50 years ago, and we can remember like it was yesterday. And there's so many sensational musicians out there performing today at all venues of music. And Steve being one of them, he plays in a rock band as well. And we got that from Bob. With the love of music and performing came from Bob. Like Steve was at the White House playing for the president.
You're stealing all my thunder, Kevin.
Oh, sorry. But I just wanted to talk about the camaraderie of going up to the club and being one of the people that were able to walk through the clubhouse door, because the clubhouse door would close behind you because not anyone could walk in there, and just to be sitting in that small packed room performing with Bob, and no one ever acted out to get a black mark.
I bet.
I can't thank you guys enough for getting the word out about the Bunker Hill Billies. And
Well, this is my
thank you very
pleasure. This is my treat. And because our show started a little bit late tonight, I'm going to have to close down this filming right now, this live filming. But we are going to pick it up and continue. And that will be, I'll send that out to everyone tomorrow as soon as I receive it. And it will also be seen on YouTube as of tomorrow. Just go to Charlestown Beyond on YouTube anytime by tomorrow afternoon, and you can catch the whole show. And I hope you will all do that. But what do we have, about a minute left before we close? Okay, let's talk. Kevin, throw in some more things. You still on the air? You still with us?
No, he's gone.
He's gone. Okay, you're back.
I'm back. I think we were talking about when Bob obviously was doing this work, Kevin started to bring in some of the special things we did. Now, if you grew up in the area, there were TV shows like Major Mud and Bozo and Boomtown and Jabberwocky. I think that was GBH.
Okay, yeah.
And early on, I think it was that early group that you brought.
My
was
brother
your
Buddy.
brother Buddy? Did
Yep.
he go to New York for Johnny Carson?
I don't believe so. I think he was in 56, 58.
Okay, I think in the early 60s.
Yeah.
There was a group that went to New York, and Johnny Carson had a show before The Tonight Show, which was called Who Do You Trust?
It was during the day, right?
Yeah, and the boys were on it, and they made Johnny Carson an honorary hillbilly, and I think they won $200 on some kind of quiz show.
Oh, good for them.
And they performed.
Yeah.
Luckily, the group traveled to New York. We traveled to Washington. As Kevin brought up, he's embarrassing me, but there was a subgroup of the hillbillies called the Ranch House 7,
I remember that.
which developed in the late 60s. And Bob took that group to Washington, D.C. to perform for Nixon in the White House because it was a Boys Club convention.
Oh, is that why? I remember seeing the picture, and we will show it when we come back.
Okay.
President Nixon playing the piano, and all you guys standing around him. He looked like he was thoroughly enjoying himself.
It was, you think of, I think I was 12, and
Wow,
you
what
jump
an
on an
experience.
airplane, and the first time you're on an airplane, and you go to Washington, D.C., and they're picking you up in a limo and taking you to the White House.
Imagine.
He had seen, and I benefited by the fact that he had seen the boys earlier in the 60s in New York at a Boys Club convention. And when he got to the White House, there was a convention dinner, and they asked him, "What do you want?" And he said, "Well, get me those kids from Charlestown."
Wow.
And just luckily, I was in the group at that point. So
Oh, okay, we're going to have to close up this portion of it.
Okay.
But We will be back to finish the show, but I want to thank you for tuning in tonight, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.